This year, GTA 5 will be 12 years old. That's insane. I feel like it was yesterday I swayed my grandma to buy me the game for the PS3 by telling her it was a racing game. But ever since I beat the story for the first time, there's something that has bugged me about it. The ending. Specifically, option C, the third way. If you ask me, this ending, despite being considered the canon ending, sort of endorsed by GTA Online, doesn't work. When you think about the GTA series, what comes to mind? Probably guns, drugs, hookers, and every felony under the sun. But if you paid attention to the campaign of each game, you might think of something else. Consequences. Beyond the parodic element, if you've really paid attention, the Grand Theft Auto series isn't about romanticizing the criminal life, but about showing its consequences and effects. A recurring theme in all the games, the main ones at least, is betrayal. Catalina in GTA 3, Lance in Vice City, Big Smoke in San Andreas. In GTA 4, betrayal was especially prominent, by Dimitri's betrayal in the early half of the story, and Darko Brevic's, which is pretty much the driving force for the entire game. GTA 5 is no exception to the rule. The very prologue of the game is us, as Michael, betraying Brad and Trevor, so the man can leave to Los Santos with his family and get into witness protection.
I've been in witness protection, still am.
Witness protection for what? No one was convicted of anything.
Alright, I mean to get into an informal deal with an FIB agent to retire from being a stick-up man. Betrayal continues to be very present and recurring throughout the story, and it takes the spotlight like one-third. Yeah, one-third through the game when Trevor shows up. It doesn't hold the same weight or emotional baggage as it does in 4, but it is still the catalyst for the story, and even more so after Trevor finds out Brad was actually dead and not in prison. Thematically speaking, in most endings in the series, no matter how okay the protagonists end up, there's always a cost, a consequence. Lance's betrayal still happens, and years later Tommy and Ken completely drift apart, as seen in the San Andreas introduction. Big Smoke and Ryder still betray Grove Street and succumb to the temptation of power and money. Niko Bellic's end is the most tragic, as regardless of the ending you choose, someone close to him still gets killed. The point is that no matter how lavish the end result for the protagonist is, no matter how much money they have by the end of the story, how many safe houses, the criminal lifestyle wagers a cost. By the way, if you're enjoying this video, I'd appreciate it if you liked and subscribed.
This is $7.
You wanna be a greedy fucking cow? Huh?
The story of 5 continuously builds up the conflict between Michael and Trevor, the crux of it being Michael's betrayal. Yet even after the impasse in North Yankton, there's never really a point of reckoning. At least not if you choose option C. GTA 5 followed the mechanic of multiple endings, introduced in GTA 4 and later expanded in Red Dead Redemption 2, which is a great device for storytelling and gives way for more than one interpretation of the story's themes. So, let's refresh about what happens in The Third Way. Franklin, overwhelmed by pressure to kill Michael and Trevor, goes to Lester for help. Lester comes up with a plan that goes a bit like this.
Alright, I say kill Michael, then kill Trevor.
Wrong plan. Lester comes up with a plan that goes a bit like this. Franklin, Michael, and Trevor fend off Merriweather. Then Trevor goes after Steve Haynes, Michael goes after Stretch, Franklin goes after the Chinese, then Trevor goes after Devin Weston, and they all meet together to reminisce over old times and say goodbye. The reason why this ending doesn't work for me and why I don't like it is that these guys, the main character's skill, are minor antagonists, obstacles if anything. None of them hold a candle to Dmitri Raskolov or Frank Tenpenny, because the main conflict in 5 isn't rooted in the antagonist but within the protagonists themselves. Besides that, from a gameplay standpoint, the pacing is all over the place and the emotional component fails to make up for it. I'ma give you the example of Red Dead Redemption. The last enemy that shall be destroyed is not the game's most dynamic mission from a gameplay standpoint, but the emotional and narrative weight of having to protect Jack and Abigail along with Uncle's death make it still one of the best missions in the game, and an excellent ending. It brings everything to a close thematically. The game is about the end of the Wild West and a man running from his past, so it's only fitting that the game ends with the Wild West, ending by said man's past catching up to him. The ending shouldn't be about the trio taking out these minor inconveniences, but about the resolution to Michael and Trevor, and of course Franklin's part in it, because the game is about Michael's betrayal. It begins with it and it's only natural for it to end with a resolution to it, which can go one of two ways, by gunning down the traitor or by finishing what he started. Option B, or The Time Has Come, is without a doubt the rawest mission in the game. It comes from Devin Weston's request for Franklin to kill Michael because he made a bit of a mess and got his assistant killed or something like that. After having played as Michael since the very beginning, having watched him grow, get his family back, attain his dream job, once he's finally in a good place, we have to kill him. Franklin grew up without a father. That, combined with Michael's love-hate relationship with Jimmy, made for a very unusual yet warm father and son type bond. Not to mention that everything Michael says to Franklin during this mission is true.
No, I trusted you. I took you in, treated you like family.
He did treat him like family, and in a way he was the only person who looked out for him without trying to get him killed or rip him off, because anyone else would have killed Franklin. But even then, can we honestly say Michael doesn't deserve this? Especially when in this ending Trevor refuses to help Franklin and cuts ties with him once Michael is dead.
You're turning on him? I have had enough traitors in my life!
Man, your ass could say thank you.
Narratively, it makes sense that after going pro on heists and getting the big house in the hills, Franklin's final step from 2-bit to 3-bit gangster is to betray Michael, finalizing the game with the same words Michael spoke to him.
Just start running and shit, and all of a sudden your legs give and you just can't run anymore.
The game, closing with option B, can be seen as Franklin mirroring Michael's journey. Here, the game begins with Michael betraying Trevor. It continues with his betrayal coming back to haunt him, and ends with his friend and protege betraying him as well. But, despite the beautiful parallel in option B, option A, Something Sensible, is to me the truest ending. Trevor in GTA 5 is portrayed as a gasoline-inhaling psychopath, but is in fact the most loyal and caring of the trio. Even after Michael's initial betrayal and learning its full extent, and, you know, giving him to the Chinese in a lapse of judgment, he still comes around and helps his friend again in the wrap-up. Hell, if you choose ending C, they make up quite nicely either way.
I was in a tough situation and I fucked up, and I apologize.
Okay. I accept your apology.
Thank you.
In spite of this, it's logical that the FIB would want him dead, because no matter how loyal he is underneath, he's still a ticking time bomb. The third way is not GTA, and the happily ever after ending is not what the narrative has been pushing to. It's been pushing to a resolution, and from a logical standpoint, this is it. Trevor is, without a doubt, the most unstable and unpredictable character in the game, perhaps in the entire franchise, a risk and a liability for everyone. It's fitting that the last mission ends with Franklin finishing what Michael started, and if you take too long to kill Trevor, Michael will do it himself either way, bringing the betrayal in North Yankton full circle, and making Trevor die the same way he lived. Literally.
You always like gasoline, Trevor!
Gasolina? No.
The choice of music for this ending is also impeccable, with the lyrics of Don't Come Close reflecting what this ending conveys. Most people don't change, they only get old. So if I let you back in close, will you hurt me? In both endings A and B, Franklin concludes his journey, as Michael puts it, from a 2-bit gangster to a 3-bit gangster.
You work hard, screw over everybody that you love. Hurt, rob, kill indiscriminately, and maybe, just maybe if you're lucky, you become a 3-bit gangster.
But the last bits of dialogue in Something Sensible set it in stone, and make it, in my opinion, the best and truest ending for GTA 5.
Surviving is winning, Franklin. Everything else is bullshit. Fairy tales spun by people afraid to look life in the eye. Whatever it takes, kid. Survive.
Damn straight.
Once again, if you enjoyed this video, I'd appreciate your support with a like or by subscribing. Let me know your thoughts and what you'd like to see next in the comments. Thanks for staying until the end, and I'll see you in Nicaragua.